In January of this year, a young teenage girl was leaving her dancing class late in the afternoon on Dartmouth Street in Dartmouth. She was crossing the street to get a ride home from her father when she was hit by a car. And she suffered some serious injuries at that time. The driver kept going. She was later arrested, found to be driving without a valid Massachusetts license. And she received 6 months suspended sentence, a $500 fine, and probation for 2 years. We are not here today to talk about the criminal case. That was for the courts to decide. We're here to talk about the young teen who was injured and what people who love her are doing to help her. The young girl's name is Skyla Lynk Romano. Her father's name is Aaron Lynk, and he's here to speak with us today. Mr. Lynk, thanks for coming in here.
Thanks for inviting me.
You want to see something positive come out of this.
Yes.
It's really important. You want to start a foundation, and to start a foundation, there needs to be a little working capital, obviously, and you are holding an event on August 20th at Fort Tabor.
Yeah.
So tell us about that event, first of all.
It's an event to give back to all the people that have helped since January, since the accident. It's a free event. It's going to have dancing in the morning from some local studios, and in the afternoon we're going to have some rock and roll from 1 to 4, and in the evening we're going to have some singers come in. There's going to be face painting, cotton candy, popcorn, a slush machine set up. Two Sisters food truck is going to come in and do food, and it's going to be a good time. We should be having a good time, and hopefully everybody will come out.
The young girl's name, Skyla, your daughter, how's she doing today?
She's doing a lot better. She's a strong.
I know you're going to get choked up a little bit.
Yeah. She's a very strong girl, and she has pulled herself through this amazingly with the help of prayers from people and the help of God and the spirit of goodness. She has come a long way. She had a broken femur, which she has a rod in her leg right now to keep her healing properly. And she has a TBI condition injury, which is a traumatic brain injury. And that is something that you just can't fix. It has to just fix on its own, and it can only fix so much in a certain amount of time. So with her, she's doing much better. She's able to walk. She's able to talk and eat. To get back to January, on January 5th, when she got hit, she stayed at Hasbro Children's Hospital for 30 days. And she got out of that hospital and she went into Franciscan's Children's Hospital in Brighton, and she stayed there for 60 days. When she left Hasbro Children's Hospital, she was on a gurney with a feeding tube, and she was barely opening one eye. But that progress from the beginning of January to that point was amazing, even by the doctor's standpoints in the hospital. Her strength, and her ability to pull herself through to that point. At Franciscan's, she stayed there for 30 days, and in the time she was there, she learned how to walk, she learned how to talk, she learned how to think, how to eat, how to brush her teeth, take a shower, all that we take for granted. She had to learn all over again, and she did that at Franciscan's. And she worked herself up to the point where she was allowed to go home by April 19th, which was a month and a half of rehab, or 2.5 months, of rehab at Franciscan's. When she did come home, her feeding tube was removed. She could walk on her own. She could talk and eat, but her memory is something that is going to have to be worked on from now until whenever.
Does she still use a walker?
No. When she left Franciscan's, she was walking on her own. She uses handrails, and I'll hold her hand, but otherwise no walker, no wheelchair.
Now, your 14-year-old daughter was a Voc Tech student.
Yes.
And will she be able to return to school in the fall?
Yes. As a matter of fact, we spoke with the school last week, and we have done an IEP for her, and they are going to set up everything in school to accommodate her for her injuries. And I'm looking forward to it, and she's really looking forward to going back to school. She misses everybody.
And you say you had, this event planned for the 20th at Fort Tabor. You want to raise some money to help her,
yes,
for sure, but also to do some other things as well.
Yeah, through this this whole incident, I know I'm a single dad, and I've raised Skyla since she was a kid, since she was 14, 15 months old, and I've given her everything. I surrounded my world around her, and then when this happened, it was another challenge for me, and I just didn't know how to approach it. I didn't know who to turn to, but through the process, I've learned who to speak with, who to ask questions to, what avenues to go down, in a sense of, like, for instance, therapies. When she got out of the hospital, she was out for 3 weeks from Franciscans, and she went into another hospital called Pappas Rehab in Canton. And that's a rehab for children who have diseases from when they were born to accidents to anything, any kind of injuries. And most of them are in wheelchairs. They don't walk. They talk very minimum. Most of their actions are they have one-on-one therapy people with them constantly throughout the day. So when she got out of Franciscans and was at home for 3 weeks, it took me almost a week and a half to get her into therapies. And when I did, she could only get 6 therapies a month with physical therapy, 4 therapies a month for occupational therapy, and I couldn't find any speech therapist that would be able to come in within that time period. And what they had told me at Hasbro when this accident first happened, that the first 6 months is the most important time for healing, because the back of the brain where the brain stem is and enters the brain, that gets severed most of the time with an injury like this, and it has to rebuild itself. So the first 6 months, it makes a direct build from the stem into the brain. After 6 months, it has to work itself around the brain, find out where it needs to go, and then it makes a connection. It may seem like a split second that happens, but when you're looking at somebody trying to make a decision and waiting for that decision to happen within a second or two, it makes a difference.
Absolutely. So the Skyla Strong Festival is happening on August 20th from 9 to 9, Fort Tabor. It's a free event.
Yes.
But donations, I'm sure, are being accepted.
Yes, for the foundation that we created to help families who have TBI victims in their family. I know that Skyla's getting all the help she can from people who are professionals, but me, I don't know where to get the help. I don't know who to turn to, but I found out through this process, and I've learned through this process. So we started a foundation that's going to help people with, for instance, if your loved one had a stroke and they couldn't come home from the hospital because you don't have grab bars in the shower. As our organization, we'll go in and we'll put in the grab bars for free. Insurance doesn't cover that kind of stuff. If you need a walkway outside, you can't use stairs anymore, so you need a ramp for your wheelchair. We'll come in and we'll take care of that for you also. When it comes to physical therapies, you're only covered for $6 a month on each one. You need 40 a month. We will come in and help out with that also, whether it have some of the therapy offices donate some of their time, or we'll pay for it through our organization.
You're listening to Townsquare Sunday. My guest is Aaron Lynk, the father of Skyla Lynk Romano, who was hit by a car in January while crossing Dartmouth Street. She is making good progress and will return to school in the fall, which is some wonderful
news.
Amazing
news
for her. So you felt you had to do something.
Yes, I had to do something.
You were kind of, I'm sure, as most people in these kinds of situations, you were kind of engulfed by feelings of negativism.
Yes.
And anger.
Yes.
Those things are really, they're not uncommon, and I think most people would accept, they would go through the same thing.
Yes.
But you felt you had to do something.
Yes, to make it easier.
How did you get to that point? How did you?
Well, it was just so stressful and frustrating to try to get answers from people who were professionals who were in the field and know the answers, but they just won't give it to you. And I was frustrated and upset, and I had to turn around and do some investigating. And when I finally came across somebody who was willing to help me for free, thank God, I had to do some things that I really didn't want to do, but I had to do them. For example, I had to report the school to the state in order for things to start happening. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to do that, but I got pushed to that limit. I don't want the next person to have to do that. I want the next person to be able to deal with the school, to be able to know what the school can give, how to go about to talk to the school, how to go about to get what they need for their kid in the school.
So the purpose of the foundation is really to help some other folks. Certainly if Skyla needs something, that's important. She'll get that help, but it's also to help some other folks who may have some issues down the line.
Yes, definitely. This festival we're having on August 20th is basically a free festival to give back to everybody that has helped already with Skyla. Some of the funds that we do get from this festival will go to the Skyla Strong Fund. Other funds will stay in the Let's Stay Strong Foundation, which will be the beginning of that Let's Stay Strong Foundation, and we're going to take off from there.
All right. Have you created a nonprofit corporation?
Yes, we have a website. It's called letsstaystrong.org, and we're on Facebook at Let's Stay Strong Foundation.
All right. Her medical needs now, are they being taken care of? Are they being met?
Yes, they are.
Yeah,
yes. Through her insurance and also through the Skyla Strong Fund.
Okay. So you're looking for folks to attend and have a good time?
Yes, yeah.
But you're also looking to raise awareness here. You would like somebody to, write a check.
Well, that would definitely help out a lot.
Yeah.
And also if people need something at their house, if people have a stroke victim or have a TBI victim in their family and they don't have the access that they need, they can contact us at our organization, letsstaystrong.org, foundation. .org, and we can come in and take a look at the situation and try to help and do what we can.
What would you like to say to people here on the South Coast about this experience?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you to everybody that's come out to help. I've just been so amazed and pulled back by everybody's willingness to help out, to just be a part of. And I'd just like to thank everybody for that. And I'd like to hope that you'll support this organization in the future and be aware of this organization, that we're here to help people. This is not all for Skyla Strong. This is all for Let's Stay Strong Foundation. So let's stay strong together.
Okay. One more time on the details for the festival.
Yeah, it's at Fort Tabor. It's called Skyla Strong Festival 2017, August 20th from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. There's going to be bands, singing, face painting, 50-50 raffle, food by the Two Sisters, karate with Steve Arsenault, dancing, Christine Studio Performing Arts will be putting on some dancing and some singing. Games, we have a few vendors out there that are going to do some sand art and some things with the kids. My church is going to put up a table, and they're going to help out also with St. Mary's Parish in South Dartmouth with the kids and stuff, doing some games and things. And, so we have a dunk tank also. So if anybody wants to bring down your favorite person in the world and put them in the dunk tank so you can dunk them. And we also have a photo booth. It's a free photo booth where you can get your picture taken with different items on your head or with your friend or, a fun little booth.
Aaron, we would like to really wish you well in this endeavor because
Thank you very much,
obviously you're thinking of the greater good here. I think all of us who heard or read about this story are praying for your daughter's complete recovery.
Yes.
I'm glad to hear she's going back to school.
Thank you.
So good luck with this. This is a big undertaking. Don't get alarmed if nobody's there at 9 o'clock early on a Sunday,
Well, I'll be there anyway.
All right. Thanks again.
All right, Jim. Thank you very much, sir.
Take care. Well, that is it for this week's edition of Townsquare Sunday. We are heard every week at this time on 1420 WBSM. My thanks to Jason Kent, the production director for WBSM, for his help in getting this program on the air, and digital producer Casey Sylvia for posting these segments on our website, WBSM.com, and on WBSM's Facebook page. Join us again next Sunday at 6 for Townsquare Sunday. Until then, have a terrific week and a great Sunday.